Welcome to Podlomania Podcast, your photography and video podcast, where we introduce you to some of the most amazing creatives from around the world. I'm your host, Wayne Johns, and I'm here with my good friend, buddy, and co-host, Jake Hicks. Hey, man.
Hey, how you doing?
I thought you were just going to go, hey, then, and that was it. I thought that's a short answer.
I am phoning this in, let's be honest. I mean,
to be fair, I know it's early for you, even though it is, just before midday.
Just before midday, yeah.
Just before, man. How have you been anyway? You've been well?
Good, yeah. Sick and tired of the cold, but yeah, other than that, all good. Yeah.
Mate, you say that when it's like spring.
Well, I mean, I say that when it's summer as well, to be honest, but
yeah. True.
I'm warm-blooded like a lizard.
Curtains drawn, heaters on.
Cold-blooded, whichever. Anyway, let's go on with this before we get to
It's got that so the wrong way round.
Yeah.
So, man, what have you been up to, man? It's I believe. I mean, you bought a new camera recently, haven't you? Well, new being not really the appropriate word, but you bought a new camera for you, but not a new one.
New Year's resolution, yeah, 2020. I thought so I wanted to get back into film. It's been about 20 years since I've done film. Seriously, shooting film as in like the old film, not digital, not movie film. So yeah, I picked up a Pentax 6.7. Yeah, so
it's a beast.
It's a monster. Yeah, but I've always wanted one, and yeah, I think it'd be good. It'll, sync up with Flash and everything nicely.
Yeah.
And, should just shell out shelves of money for film and processing. I mean, why would you not want to go back to that?
Mate, I mean, a 6x7 neg or transparency, man, is a beautiful.
How many shots do you get for that? Like 5
10.
on a roll or something?
10. Yeah. I know 6x9. 6x9 is 8 frames. 8 frames on the 6x9. 6x7 you get 10. So yeah. 10 shots, man.
So I might have to reel in my 300, 400 shot shoots. But,
yeah. Can we just try that again? Yeah. And again?
No,
hold on, man. I just got to change roles.
Yeah.
Mate, the Pentax 6.7 is beautiful. And have you just got the standard prism finder on that, or have you got the waist level, or?
That's one of the reasons why I went for that 6.7 is because it's, shoot through the lens, viewfinder composition. I'm not a huge fan of the waist finder medium.
Okay. But you can get it for the
stuff.
You can get it for the.
You can do it, yeah. It's all interchangeable. I mean, I use that in the loosest term, but yeah, yeah. But that was one of the main reasons I went for that particular one. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, they're beautiful cameras, man. Absolutely beautiful. But I mean, the way it's done, don't they? I mean, what they made out of lead or something, aren't they? The old Pentax 6.7s.
Well, yeah. I mean, like they practically come with warnings now because of the chemicals that they were made. Like the lenses has got thorium in it, which is radioactive and stuff. And like, oh, if your lens goes orange, it's because the radiation in the lens has started to get. Oh, like what the? Like, you're just not allowed to get away with that now.
Did you get a free respirator and eye mask?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you put a roll of film through it yet?
No, I haven't even got it yet. Ordered it from Japan.
Oh,
so
get you.
Me imminently, and then I'll have to pay the import fees, I'm sure.
Yeah, 100%. I've just done the same. Likewise, I've just bought another RB67 Pro S on the Mamiya side. It comes obviously with its waist level finder, the one thing you don't like. But luckily, it also comes with a chimney prism finder. So
okay,
even though I'm still looking down into it, I'm not looking down, into the glass screen with the waist level. So I'll probably pick up a proper finder for it anyway. So I can just look through.
2020 though, the year of film. That's it, bringing it back. Year
of film, man. I do have. Do you have some 120 roll film in stock, or have you got to buy some of that as well?
I was just testing it out with an old medium format here on my shoot on Monday, and we just went through some Portrait 400. But yeah, I'm going to test out some different ones. Like there's so many now. In fact, I think Kodak actually announced that they doubled in the amount of film that they sold last year compared to the year before. So it's certainly may well be coming back. Jokes aside,
I do have 120 roll film still in my fridge, and I know. I've just thought about this now, and I know already. You're shaking your head. I mean, people can't see, and I know you know what I'm going to say, don't you?
I've got a pretty good idea. Yeah.
I've got two types of film in my fridge, and they're both black and white, mate. So I've got some Kodak Tri-X in there, and I've got some Fuji Acros, some lovely Fuji Acros black and white.
Fresh from the 90s, Wayne. I'm sure that'll be absolutely fine.
I know the Acros is actually new film. You can still get it.
Oh, okay.
Fresh film.
Anyway, look, we need to get on with this before our guest gets drunk or walks off.
Yeah, we do. Well, thanks for listening to me and Jake Babylon, folks. Welcome to episode 21. And today we're going to talk about websites for photographers and movie makers and creatives, and maybe a little bit more on that front. How easy a good website can be and how important it is for you and your customer base. And getting your brand out there. Then we're going to deep dive into how to share those images and the benefits it can have for you as a creative, and the best ways to get those out there and share them across various platforms, which we'll dive into. And after that, Jake, do you fancy going to the movies?
God, these dad jokes, man. Thank God you are a dad. At least you have that excuse.
Yeah, true. Yeah, well, we're going to get some insight into some very smug movies, aren't we, mate?
Oh, my God.
Oh, mate. I mean, if
let
people...
the audience, let the record state that I don't write these with Wayne.
Yeah, the thing is, we've got a guest in front of us, so we know they're really corny. People don't know who it is yet, But first, well, let's get him in. Let's talk to the happy chap that we both know, and one who likes a wee dram of whiskey. No, I don't really know if that's true, mate. I actually just made that up. I actually think he prefers beer.
That's such a statement.
It's Alastair Jolly from Smugmug. Hey, Alastair, welcome to the show, man.
Hi, folks. How you doing?
We're good. Sorry we had to drag you through that pain.
Sticking with that.
It's okay. I actually don't fulfill the stereotype of being a whiskey drinker.
I knew it.
To be fair, Wayne did actually say that to me beforehand. He was like, I don't even think he does drink whiskey. Yeah.
No, I'm a beer guy, but
beer and martini.
Stereotype that goes with being Scottish.
This will be a fun one.
It's not the worst stereotype in the world, though. To be honest,
it could be worse. Yeah.
True. So, Alastair, the first question we ask all our guests, for our audience, how would you describe yourself and what you do?
Oh, how would I describe myself? My goodness.
It's not a dating site, by the way, so, you know.
Yeah. They'll be swiping left, right, and I don't know which. I actually don't even know which way.
Down.
Down. I am a long-time professional photographer who has moved into the kind of commercial side of the world, working for a software company now, as you mentioned, SMUGMUG, and I'm the global marketing manager for SMUGMUG and for Flickr now as well.
We're going to get into that a bit further.
So what does that mean, though? Like,
what do you do?
Like, what is that
global
job?
Marketing manager. The title can be extended to quite a large title if you want, but predominantly my role as global marketing manager is looking after our ambassador network around the world, which is one of the key elements. Looking after. Sorry, go ahead.
This is your SmugMug ambassadors, yeah.
Yeah, well, for both brands, and looking after community activities that we do, and then marketing opportunities revolving around live events, ambassador work, many hats under that one title.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Nice.
And to be fair, some people might not actually know that SmugMug acquired Flickr. How long ago was that?
We're coming up, must be about 20 months ago. So back around about April.
Not even 2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
2018. Yeah. Not 2 years yet. No.
But you used to be a photographer yourself, didn't you? For a lot of years, you used to shoot
for a lot
weddings.
Of years. Yeah. I've been over 20 years in this industry, and 16 of those years I made my living as a full-time wedding photographer. Yeah.
So what prompted the change? 16.
16.
You deserve a medal for that one, for sure. So what prompted
you look great,
most.
25, yeah.
So what prompted the change then, Alastair, to one leave photography as an industry and then the obviously the shift over to SmugMug?
Well, as Jake alluded to there, 16 years making your living photographing weddings is a long time. You know, there's many who do it for way longer, but you know, it is a long time to be a wedding photographer. An industry I dearly love, and fortunately the change did allow me to stay in the industry and not leave the industry, which is great. It was a meeting of myself and Smugmug at the time. They wanted to launch in Europe officially with our partner labs here. That coincided with a few things happening. One in the industry, you know, obviously the wedding industry had moved completely to digital, and there was quite a race to the bottom of the pricing when it came to pricing weddings, which I wasn't interested in playing that game. But
what year are you talking about here now? Sorry,
that would have been 2011.
Okay.
So yeah, 2011. You know, really, you know, that was we had embraced. Digital as the photographers, but then, you know, everybody became a photographer, and you know, the pricing, well, we all know what happened to much of the pricing model in the wedding industry. But I would say the more important thing that was happening in my life at that point was the most important job I have is being a father, and I had a wonderful work-life balance of being with the kids all week and then photographing, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I could see on the horizon my kids were getting ready to start school. And I thought, this is going to change the whole work-life balance. You know, they'll be at school all week. I'll be working all weekend. It's going to be a big change. And just as I was having those sort of thoughts, this opportunity to go work for Smugmug came along, and I thought it would be the best way to stay, as I say, in an industry I dearly love and stay, you know, relevant in the photography world, but then have a much more regular type of work week, and get to spend time with the kids at the weekend. So that was, kids come first in everything. So that was the main move.
And that industry changed so much, like the wedding industry, like, you know, the 2010, 2015. It's just like, Jesus, man, it's changed so much. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, I started my business in the late 90s, and, you know, went through that whole cycle of, you know, transitioning from, you know, medium format to 35mm and then digital, and rode that whole wave. So, you know, don't regret a single thing. Absolutely. Loved every moment of it, and it's and, you know, Jake, you and I think I've had this conversation before, but you know, I didn't plan to be a photographer. I actually started studying to be an engineer, which is quite a sorry,
it's close industry.
Ish. Actually, it's surprising how many photographers I meet that do have that kind of story of, you know, studying engineering or something else creative and moving into that world. But, you know, while I was studying to be an engineer, I was very fortunate that my course allowed me to choose an elective module each semester. And I chose to do photography as just this kind of hobby interest that I had.
Out.
And
easy win.
Photography
looks easy.
I could have done psychology, you know. Or something. So just that, you know, really fell in love with photography through that module. Started dropping out of engineering classes and going more and more to the photography classes.
Oh, right.
You know, the photography lecturers were just excited that there was someone in that class that was really enthusiastic about it, so they didn't care that I wasn't meant to be there. And then my grades started suffering, obviously in the engineering side, so I had to refocus and finish my engineering degree. So I did complete my degree in engineering, but spent most of my life being a photographer now.
And then as soon as you left, you just went straight into weddings?
No, I actually did go into a private practice as an engineer, and spent some time doing that. And you know, my hope as an engineer, a structural engineer, was to design and build things and be creative. I guess that was what I'd hoped, as I would build, you know, amazing skyscrapers and Eiffel Towers and all this kind of thing. It was probably
aspirations
yeah. In Scotland. Yeah.
And then the reality was, turning up at the office at 7 a.m. in the morning and wearing a shirt and tie and designing till 7 in the evening. Once you had to be you were the junior, so you had to be last out. But I was already doing photographs at weddings at the weekend. And then I had this moment of reality that I was actually making more money at the weekend photographing weddings than I was making all week, and just decided, no, I'm all in, and went full time. Nice. And just never looked back.
Nice. So do you still shoot now?
That was the good old days when photography made more than engineering. Respect.
Yeah, really, absolutely. It was the case, yeah. When you put it that way, it's good fun. So yeah, definitely still shoot now. It was funny as I came to the kind of end of my professional career before transitioning to SmugMug. It was very much a job, and there was times that I would be with the kids, and the last thing I wanted to do was pick up a camera. And that was, I recognized it myself, and I was really frustrated with that. Something I love so much, I was getting, sick of doing almost. So actually, I fell in love with photography more when I stopped doing it for money. And I probably take more photographs now of things. I spend a lot of time with some of the best photographers in the world, which is amazing, and had some amazing opportunities to continue to take photography. So definitely still active in that area.
Good, man. Good. So, Alastair, SmugMug, tell us about SmugMug. Obviously, some of our listeners are going to know what it is. There's a great portion that aren't going to know what it is.
Sure. Yeah.
So
SmugMug is a product I was using as a customer at the latter stages of my wedding business, and it was a platform that I used to build my business website, store my images, and showcase those images and share those images with clients, and also use it as an e-commerce platform to allow people to buy their wedding images, in my case, and use it as a revenue stream that way. So it's a platform that can be used to showcase yourself on the website front. It can be used to store your images in the cloud as part of a backup plan, and it can be an e-commerce platform to sell your work.
Nice. Who is a typical SmugMug customer then? Because you seem like you have some core features there that, to me, sound like they probably speak to a certain demographic more so than others.
The interesting thing is there is no single definable customer, because we have so many facets and features to our product that we actually have customers that range from the mum and dad who take pictures of their kids and just want somewhere convenient to store them and share them with family, all the way to high-end professionals who are using them to deliver images and sell themselves and sell images. We have clients who use just individual parts of the product. They just want a website.
Sure.
They just want a photography based website, and want the ability to control that and design it themselves and drag and drop and not need a website designer. We have people who just use us for storage, as part of getting their images somewhere else other than in-house. And we have people who just use us as an e-commerce solution for delivering of images.
Yeah, to me, looking from the outside, it seems like the functions and accessibility that you have for selling like prints and that sort of thing, it seems to be one of your core features to me that makes you guys stand out apart, aside from the other services that are out there, the other website platforms. And I think the ease of use in terms of getting those prints, and the customer as well, because it's not going to be photographers using those people's websites. It's like mums and dads and that sort of thing buying prints of the wedding, and it's super easy and super simple for them to just order prints. So I think that is definitely a major function. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I actually became a customer of SmugMug. Was we, as I said, full-time wedding photographer, and despite what people say, there's still an opportunity to sell those images to clients, the wider family, the bride and groom and their wider family. And we've worked very hard as a wedding business to bring in that extra revenue of selling prints after the wedding. Back in the day where we would turn up at the evening reception and put prints on the table, and try and sell them at night to all the drunk aunts and uncles. Moved into, digital, and what we were finding here was we would lose, probably 2 half days a week just packaging and shipping, getting stuff printed, packaging it and sending it out to clients with all the reprints and resales that we'd had.
Makes sense.
So I wanted to recoup those half days, and that's when we switched to SmugMug and just had it completely fulfilled by the SmugMug platform. So, people could buy the prints, and all I saw was the profit. I didn't actually physically have to touch them.
Speeds up the process a lot, doesn't it? And your time as well.
Yeah, time's the most valuable part. You can't really, and especially as a father with 2 young kids, I couldn't put a price on that time that I could get back. So, it was invaluable to have that, have the confidence that, we work with, the best labs around the world. So the quality's great, everything's guaranteed, and it's shipped straight to the client. And, probably faster than I was shipping it in-house. It was, the linchpin for me. Yeah.
So sorry, just on that second, you mentioned about the different countries around the world and that sort of thing. So you've sourced labs in all these different countries where people can buy the prints then?
Yeah, we have partner labs, both in the US and here in Europe, to fulfill, delivery and printing and delivery around the world. So,
gotcha.
Our customers can choose, though, which lab, if they have a preferred lab of our partners they want to work with. But typically, you would choose one of our partners that's in the
closest to you,
geographic location, or closest to your customer.
Do you have many partners? Like, say, for instance, you got the UK. Do you have many partners or many labs in the UK, or is it just one?
We have one main lab supplying Europe, and we have 3 in the US.
Nice. You can drop that name in if you want. A bit of free advertising for them. We don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Well, in the UK, and one of the main reasons I got involved with SmugMug was when we went into partnership with Loxley Colour, based not far from here in Scotland. And dear friends of Loxley Colour, and it was a joy to work in setting up that partnership, and now having them fulfil our European audience.
They're really good. Yeah, they're big as well.
Big lab, yeah.
Good.
Big labs.
Yeah, and then in the US, we work with, 2 the biggest labs out there. We work with Bay Photo out in near our headquarters in San Francisco, and we work with White House Custom Colour, which are, huge labs out there. So.
Nice, man, nice. So really then, SmugMug is, for those that perhaps weren't so sure about what it is, it's not just a website building platform and hosting service. It's a lot more than that, and can provide a lot of power to somebody's business, but it's very simple to use, and as an interface, as a system, very, very, very user-friendly is the word I'm looking for. But it's not just aimed at photographers, though, is it? It was originally, I think. It was designed sort of by photographers for photographers.
I would say we are photo-centric. That is our passion. It's what we started the business for, and it's still our core focus is photographers. But obviously the whole photo industry is had a lot of fusion with the video world. But I would say majority of our customer base revolve around the stories, the showcasing and the selling of photography. That really is the core of our business, but you can store video on there.
But for example, if Mike's Bikes was down the road and he wanted a new website, here's his picture base because he's selling bicycles, then he could quite happily do a drag and drop website and set up his bike store. Absolutely. And everything else, and drop all the images of the bikes and sell them on there as well. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, super.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to sell the bikes, but
in print form,
certainly in print form. Yeah, nice pictures of them. But
he'll send you a print.
we have, over the years, we've discovered we have people using our website builder that, we'd never envisaged, from dog groomers to architects to, all the things you can imagine. But we don't really market it as that. We don't market to that audience. But we've designed the platform, our product, as a way for people to be empowered to own their own web domain, their own website. So you are in control of how it looks, any changes you want to make. And as you mentioned, it's all kind of drag and drop type interface. So yeah, it's about empowering, it's about empowering photographers to be in control of their own brand online.
Nice. Yeah. And I mean, I'm as you know, Alastair, but for our listeners, my website is built on a SmugMug, hosted by SmugMug and built on a SmugMug platform. Jake, yours isn't, is it? You've gone over to the dark side. You're on a different platform, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm not with SmugMug personally. Yeah.
So
I won't hold it against you.
So I've been using it for a while, and Alastair, in the beginning, obviously you helped me transition over because I came from a very messy website at the beginning and put a bit of order into it and a bit more sort of clarity, which is good. And also I link on my YouTube stuff through that quite easily. Now, the one thing I have, and I know we've spoken about this previously, not today, and this is perhaps going forward or what SmugMug are perhaps going to do in the future and where they're thinking of going or changing or adding any additional services. Are SmugMug at all going to introduce a blog function to their websites?
A blog function to the website. That is
something that we need, man. We need it.
It's something we get asked a lot for. Yeah. It is something that many of us personally would like to see. It's not. It wasn't the business we started a blogging business. Obviously, when we started SmugMug back in 2002, there were other solutions for blogging, and there are benefits to having your blog elsewhere and linking into your website from an SEO point of view. And for many years, that's been the approach that we've taken. But there are definitely those of us within the business that think, we personally would love a blog feature within our own SmugMug sites. And it's certainly something that we are conscious of and having some thoughts about, but don't have any concrete answers.
Yeah, that's fine, man. That's fine. It's something because...
Are there any features coming down the pipe then that people can look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, there's constantly lots of tweaks and things getting adjusted there. The product is pretty robust and pretty well, kitted out feature wise. There are so many features in there that sometimes I refer to it as a bit like Photoshop or a word processor. So there's those parts you individually need, and then there's other parts that other photographers would use that you don't touch. So there's a lot of features there that we've had to add because we have such a diverse customer base and people using it in different ways. So there's not a lot missing, I would say, but we're always listening to the customer base, and we have a team that's always tweaking. I would say a lot of our focus at the moment is certainly on mobile. The whole world is moving mobile. We have teams in the organization that work both on the iOS platforms and Android platforms to make sure that we are moving forward in a world where our customers are consuming and using their content on mobile devices, but more importantly, their customers, the bride and grooms, the clients, they're consuming the imagery on their mobile devices. They want to view it, they want to buy it, they want to share it all from mobile devices. So that's certainly an area that we're very focused on moving.
And sorry, do you have an app at the moment? Does SmugMug have an app?
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you do. Yeah,
yeah. We have an app that allows you to carry pretty much every image you have in the cloud in your pocket, if you like. And through the app, you can showcase your portfolio, you can store images, you can upload images, you can create new galleries. You can't do it on the app, you can't do any of the web design element of it. That's still very desktop based at this time. I'm sure that will inevitably change in the future as we move more and more mobile. But the app has cool features like auto backup of your device. So when you plug your mobile phone in at night, it can automatically upload all those images to your SmugMug account.
Wow.
Gotcha. Okay, I see.
Definitely don't want that. My phone has about 13,000 photos in there. Definitely don't want that.
Yeah, but one of the key features of SmugMug is, from day one, we gave everyone unlimited storage of their high-res files. So you can literally just let it auto-upload everything on your phone, all those pictures of the inside of your pocket and the blurry shots of your dogs and all that.
That must be massive storage.
Wayne.
That must be blurry photos of my dog. Yeah, that must be massive storage for you guys. I mean, because you're uploading, full res files, and you're storing, God knows how many customers, how many end users you have using SmugMug accounts. But, geez, man, that's a lot of data. Because I know for a fact I shoot a lot of medium format. So although I'm, putting high-res JPEGs up on site, those JPEGs are still big files in comparison to your DSLR or a mirrorless system. So all the other people that are storing sort of full high-res stuff on your...
Part of the problem, Wayne. That's it. It's just you. That's it.
Bring it on.
People.
Bring it on. We can handle it. We store we store one of the biggest photo data sets in the world. Especially with our acquisition of Flickr, where we brought in, many tens of millions of accounts.
Is that what it was, though? That is pretty. I was just about to ask that. Obviously, you guys merged, or not merged, but purchased or acquired Flickr a couple of years ago. Like, how many extra accounts is that? That's a huge number. Flickr was huge for many, many years.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah, many, many tens of millions of accounts.
Is it really?
Millions.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Billions upon billions of images.
Really?
So you may know, but our back end, our storage system is with our partners at AWS, Amazon Web Services,
okay, gotcha.
And we'll be one of AWS's biggest clients from a photo storage point.
I don't even understand the storage terminology once you go past teraflops and everything else. I mean,
petabytes.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I'm not even going to try and break that down of how many bytes and bits and megabytes and teraflops that is. That's just too nerdy for me.
Yeah,
Jake,
is there any is there any plans for any integration between those two? I know people on Flickr are like, it'd be cool if I could sync up my SmugMug account on Flickr. I could start selling prints and stuff on there, or do you just need to have two accounts and that's that?
So we've been very vocal when we bought Flickr, when we saved Flickr. Is maybe even more an appropriate term, that we were not going to merge the two companies. There are going to be two brands. So, we are SmugMug and we have two products. We have smugmug.com and we have Flickr. They serve two different needs at this time. We use this phrase that, SmugMug's where you go to stand out, and Flickr's where you go to fit in. It's, SmugMug is about showcasing and, selling yourself online. Flickr's all about community and being amongst, like-minded people and having your own little community within, bigger hundreds of thousands of communities out there. So,
Flickr is almost like a photographer's website or place for other photographers, whereas I think SmugMug is very streamlined, that it's for mums and dads and sisters and brothers to go and buy pictures and that sort of thing.
Yeah. SmugMug is that more traditional kind of brochure on the internet of who you are and storing your images and selling those images. But as a brand, as SmugMug, our product never really had a solution to build a community for photographers to build community within our product. And that was why we were always quite keen that, if there was an opportunity to acquire Flickr, that we would have been interested and that happened. So it is the largest, independent photo community in the world.
Yeah. Didn't you say to me last year or something, you sent out an email to everybody on Flickr?
Oh God, yeah.
It's like tens of millions of people. And you say it took you
you just let it
weeks to send one email.
So I was kind of naive about just what those numbers kind of meant.
Yeah.
And you assume now that we have an email team who are responsible for sending out emails, and you think when you send an email you create the email and hit send. But when you have many tens of millions of people, you can't do that. You have to use an email service provider who then sends out that email, and it can take, with the numbers we have, it can take,
just explain. So was it just like an update email, or just a hello or a welcome email, and you had to send it out to all your customers?
But to everybody, it's like,
initially, actually, when we officially acquired Flickr and took on ownership of Flickr, we had to send out a transactional email with our terms and conditions, which is a legal requirement. So we had to email every single account, and there are other reasons we've emailed every account, but it's not a simple.
And that takes days to just send one email.
Yeah. The numbers are mind blowing. We when we acquired Flickr, the biggest task, and one of the tasks that some people said would be impossible, was to move that data set out of Yahoo into our back end at AWS, and many people just said we couldn't achieve it. We knew it was going to take about a year, and it's probably one of the biggest data moves that there's been in the photo industry for sure. We had a lot of experience of doing it before. We'd moved our own data set into AWS, which was pretty big, but was tiny when you look at the scale of what Flickr was. And we did it. We moved every single image and every account out of Yahoo into our back end while keeping the product live without losing an image. It's a phenomenal feat that our operations team achieved. And I hope someday we write a little article about just what that actually meant. They invented software and technologies to make that happen that didn't exist. And
gotcha. Wow. Yeah.
Huge job.
There's definitely some interesting stories in that year-long project of moving that data set.
So what's the plans then? I mean, because you mentioned jokingly, we saved Flickr. We didn't really purchase it. We saved it as it were. What are the plans for Flickr then? What are you going to do with it moving forward?
It was quite clear that, Yahoo were not able to make it a viable proposition, and, we're ready to turn the lights out on Flickr, and that would have been devastating to, such an amazing record of photography, such a large community. So, we were, keen to keep that going. And the plan is to make it a viable business so that community, that industry of photographers wanting to share their knowledge, be inspired, be motivated, continues. It's something, such a large percentage of the world are passionate about, that have, time and invested in there, have images that are important and precious to them.
Yeah, true.
On there. But our number one thing is to make it a financially viable business. It can't be a loss-making business in this day.
Sure.
Obviously, it has to be viable. And we've taken some strides to start that process, and they're moving in the right direction. Unfortunately, under some of the previous ownerships, the community had kind of lost its way in understanding what Flickr was about. There was a decision made, some years ago to allow everybody on Flickr to have a free terabyte of storage. And almost overnight, people started thinking of Flickr as somewhere to store your images.
Right.
And that's not what Flickr is about. Yeah. It's not a storage platform. It's a platform to share, inspire, motivate, and learn about photography. And with a free terabyte, people were just uploading anything they had. They were auto-uploading from their devices, all those, as I say, pocket shots and shots of their food, and it wasn't a curated feed of images anymore. And we want people to think about Flickr as somewhere to share their best photographs and inspire, motivate, and learn about photography and be part of a like-minded community. So we took the decision to remove that free terabyte of storage from the free accounts. And the decision we made was that as a free Flickr user, you can store and showcase up to 1,000 images, which, if you're curating and showcasing your best work, is still a lot of images.
For sure.
And then if you go to our pro level, then you can get unlimited storage and you can store as much as you want.
And how much is pro then?
Pro at the moment is $50 and
a year.
A year, yeah, $50 a year. And we've been vocal recently to our audience that there's a slight price increase coming. So that information.
And I think a lot of people forget that Flickr was actually part of Yahoo as well, don't you? Because the Yahoo name was never really at the forefront. It was always the Flickr branding at the forefront. Now,
Yeah, well, it was originally created as an independent company, and then for many years was under the ownership of Yahoo, and ultimately Verizon and Oath, who were the parent companies.
I'm not going to lie. I do still have a Flickr account now. The other side of that coin is
same.
I can't remember the last time I used it. So that's a home truth from me.
Hopefully the next time will be tomorrow.
Not because I don't like the platform. I didn't like the platform, but it's like when you're a commercial pro and you're in the business and you're working your butt off, and all of a sudden there are so many social platforms. You're like, oh man, I got to try and rein in all these social postings between all these platforms.
But I do think Flickr does have its niche in that. It's not just another Instagram, another Facebook. It is definitely, I mean, Alastair said this at the start, it's heavily community based in that there are very specific groups in there that you can be in and definitely be inspired by a very niche demographic of people. Like if you're really into, I don't know, stained glass windows, something, you can definitely easily find a group specifically targeted at that and find other
colour
people.
gel group in there.
It must be at least one.
I knew this was going one route. I knew this.
I'm not sure that's niche anymore, sadly. But anyway, but like you can definitely find those, those core groups, which is very hard to do on any other social network platform.
Yeah,
right. You can't.
I agree.
There's a couple of key things. One, it's photocentric, and what you alluded to, Wayne, of you became so busy, or you felt you had to invest in other social media platforms that were better for your business. That's fine, but at what cost? We're all beginning to learn the cost of being involved in free social media platforms. That's one thing. Plus, if you're at that stage in your career where you think, I don't want to go in there, there's nothing I can learn. Well, what about being the thought leader? What about being the educator? What about being in there and giving back to a community and leading groups or leading discussions or helping steer people? So I do think there's a place in Flickr, irrelevant of what stage of your career or what stage of your passion you're at.
Yeah.
And there is, there's definitely a group there that you want to, probably find a like-minded.
I completely
be a little bit more tech focused as well. Like I know that you guys have a very interesting feature on there, which sort of encourages everybody to include the EXIF data of the lens used and the camera used, and which I mean, as a nerd, as a photo nerd, I find that really interesting. Is there any plans to make that searchable in any way? Because at the moment you have tags and that sort of thing in Flickr. Is there any? Yeah. Is there any plans for that?
It's already searchable. So you can go into, and this is one of the great thing about it being a great place to be inspired or learn your craft is you can go into Flickr and search for anything. You can search for a place, you could search for a type of photography, but you could search for a type of camera, you could search for a type of lens.
Gotcha.
You can, you want to buy the new whatever camera, you can go search for it and see what people are doing with it. People are sharing the images at high original resolution.
That's true.
You can pixel peak, and there's specific groups, a lot of them legacy groups, on every lens you can imagine, every camera, all that information there. And that EXIF data it's a real archive and a real treasure chest of information.
Because nearly every other social media platform strips it. So, as soon as you upload it, so it's normally stripped. So, if I'm doing exactly that, if I'm looking for a specific shots taken by a specific lens, you always end up on Flickr because it doesn't, it makes a feature of it, which I think is great. Yeah, really nice. Yeah, really good feature.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and one of the hopes is, a personal hope of mine is to certainly get some of the other, the brands in the industry involved again in Flickr, so that they're also getting that information out there, leading the conversation about their new cameras, their lenses, and really helping people learn more about this creative craft that we all love.
Yeah, good direction. Interesting things to come from Flickr then. So
we've went on a kind of winding path there with that conversation, but just to finish off the conversation about the two products together, we're not going to merge them. They do have different needs and different markets and customer, but there are learnings we can get from each product to help improve the other one. We have customers who have both a SmugMug and a Flickr account. What can we do to help streamline that scenario? We've already made improvements in the speed and the reliability of Flickr through the technologies we have at SmugMug and our partners at AWS. We just during last year, we turned on the ability for people on Flickr to be able to buy their own prints.
Okay.
Obviously, we work, as I mentioned earlier, with the best labs in the world. Why not allow someone on Flickr to be able to get access to those pro labs, so that rather than going to a superstore to get their prints done at questionable quality, you already have them uploaded. Why you don't want to download them to then go re-upload them somewhere else to get them printed?
Yeah, true.
Flickr's your hub. Get them printed at amazing quality and have them delivered straight to your door. So we turned that feature on, which has been really popular. I'm sure there's more work we can do on that print side for the Flickr community. There's just lots of things that having both brands will let us do without it becoming one brand.
Nice.
Are there any changes coming down the pipe in the imminent future for Flickr that we should be aware of? Features, anything like that? Do we all need to go out and reinvigorate our Flickr accounts, as you say, that we already have somewhere?
I need reinvigorating. I can't even remember my login or password. So,
Jesus, I do apologise. I'm not being like this.
It's okay. I know someone that can help you with that, Wayne. So
that might be good.
Love it.
We can get you access. One of the. It's funny you mention that. It's not an uncommon story, right? We heard this over the last year and a half. I still have a Flickr account
somewhere.
I haven't been in it for years. I just don't know my login. Or another common story was you had to have a Yahoo login to use Flickr.
I think that's what pissed me off with it originally. Was having
well, there you go. As I say, a lot of people said, "I ain't touching Flickr until you get me
Yahoo."
Yahoo's login. So and we heard people loud and clear. So one of the big focuses last year was to move that authorization process out of Yahoo, and now you can log in with any email you have. If you don't have,
if you remember,
access to your existing email, then we can help with that. So just reach out to help@flickr.com and the team there will help you get access back to your
unless of course you have a buddy in the know who's just able to help you out a little bit more,
So is Yahoo evil now then? Is that what people don't want to be associated with Yahoo? What's the deal with that? Is it or is it just having another email address that was the issue?
No, I mean, Yahoo unfortunately over the years had quite a few vulnerabilities with their emails.
A bit like Hotmail, wasn't it?
They had
Yahoo Hotmail.
They had some data loss and stuff like that. So a lot of people were a little reluctant to be in that world. And we're obviously a very trusted brand, and got straight off of that platform to allow people to use their own authorization.
That's a very calm, constructive answer there, Alastair. I can see your face as you thought about that. Nice way to put it. Wow, I mean,
speaking as
well, I mean, I'm sure we'll speak after the show, and we'll perhaps get my login sort of rejuvenated and
Wayne
shake his head.
Look, Jake and I cannot wait to see what legacy images you
have
stored on your Flickr.
That's so true, man. That's so true.
Probably all those fuzzy ones of my dog.
Yeah, I'm going to go search that.
Do you know,
he's had the auto upload set for years.
One thing I would advise a lot of people or recommend to a lot of people is, if you have an old Flickr account and you haven't been in there for a while, get back into it and go look at the very first image you uploaded and see how far you've come. See where you've got to. if you're Jake, you realise you've got worse, then that's unfortunate. But
savage. Yeah, it's true. I did used to shoot black and white. You're right.
Yeah, and I think we should start a campaign to get everybody to recreate the first image they ever uploaded on Flickr and see how they would do it, or reimagine it, or something.
I was going to say you won't have my first paid commission on that, man. I come from the days of film in the dinosaur world before Flickr existed.
Yeah, ditto. That's funny. That's the truth. But I actually started a project over the holidays at Christmas of digitizing my archive. No. That's going to be a fun project for this year.
Good luck on that front.
Slide scanners and stuff.
Nice.
But more importantly, digitizing my father's.
Oh wow!
archive.
Okay.
I did that a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and I have the perfect platforms where I can share them with.
I heard that. Yeah.
The family around the world.
Yeah. I heard of that little platform as well. Yes, it's getting a bit bigger now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So on a different note, a different direction, let's get into something fun that maybe a lot of people definitely don't know about. Something new to the table, and that is SMUGMUG Films. What is SMUGMUG Films? Come on, what can you tell us about that?
What can I tell you about it? Well, it's not a secret. They're out there. So SMUGMUG Films is it's a passion. It started off as a passion project within SMUGMUG. We love this industry that we're in. We love the photographers we work with, and we love the fact that we get to work on a daily basis with many of our heroes within this industry.
Thanks, Alastair. Thanks, mate.
And yeah, including President. So many years ago, we started this project of creating little films about these people that we loved in the industry as a way to motivate and inspire and tell the stories of these great photographers. So we started SMUGMUG Films, and over the years we've done many films, and I'm part of my role as global marketing manager is I work on the production team of SMUGMUG Films, and it's one of my favorite parts of the role is working with some of our ambassadors or photographers that we just want to tell those stories, and then we go make these little films that give a peek behind the curtain at what goes on in the worlds of these different photographers. So over the years, we've worked with the likes of Chris Burkhardt, Tim Kemple, Alan Schaller, Elena Shimalova. There's films out there about all these amazing photographers in all these different genres. And, every year we roll out several more releases of SMUGMUG Films.
Nice.
So that's what that's...
I think our golden envelope's in the post, Jake, for our invite into the iconic world of SMUGMUG Films.
I don't think they're ready.
or is it a bit like a Wonka, one of those Willy Wonka chocolate bars, mate? You're going to go and buy it, and one day you might unwrap it, and you'll have that gold wrapper.
And you never know. But what's really interesting, though, about timing of SMUGMUG Films. Today, as we're recording this, and certainly by the time this probably goes out live, the next SMUGMUG film will have been released. Uh-huh. Today, we actually released the trailer of a SMUGMUG film featuring Bella Kotak.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
Glad you had an answer.
It's so that will go. That trailer will go live today, and there is a connection here because in the film, Jake's wife actually features as one of the models in the film. So
good. I like it. Nice segue.
Nice segue,
I was going to say. I mean, I was on the set with you guys last year when you were shooting the Bella Kotak film, and I mean, seemed like you guys got a great team there. Everybody was getting on, getting loads done. Do you have any exciting stories to share from some of the other projects you've been working on with some of the other people? Like, what's some of the best trips that you've been on?
Jake was hoping to get some camera time there. You know that, don't you, Alastair? You do anything to get in front of the camera.
Oh, am I going to be
anything to get in there? He was assisting his wife.
He did hold the light.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I think I don't know if you have a cameo. I'll have to rewatch
just a quick pan,
final film.
Pause it.
See if you're there. But we've been very fortunate to travel around the world making these films. from Iceland to Norway, to Africa, to England and all the US. One of the highlights for me was last year we made a film with an amazing self-portrait artist from Canada called Lizzie Gadd. Lo and behold, her dream was to go make a film on the Isle of Skye in Scotland. And for me, it was just one of the best weeks of the year. Just had a beautiful week on the Isle of Skye, hiking and climbing right through the mountains there with Lizzie Gadd, and watching her, create these amazing self-portraits and getting
great
to,
film.
to be,
I saw that one. Yeah, really good.
Really nice.
Yeah, getting to be part of the production team, filming and telling that story and documenting it was phenomenal. Obviously, an Isle of Skye's somewhere that's near and dear to my heart.
Course,
so that was great. One of my favourite films features a food photographer called Eric Wolfinger, and the film we made documents him creating a photography book for a chocolate company in San Francisco. But the story arc travels with him to Africa to see the cocoa beans getting picked and fermented, and right through that whole story to then making chocolate and telling his story of how he became a food photographer. And it's a remarkable piece. The Climbing Ice is one we made in Iceland with two ice climbers and the photographer Tim Kemple, which is another great film. One of the most successful ones we've ever done is with Chris Burkhardt, where he's filming surfers in the ice and snow in Norway during winter, which is
I've not seen
phenomenal.
It. Okay.
Wow. It's called Arctic Swell. We also made a film about astronaut Tim Pettit, who's been on the documenting photographs from the International Space Station. That was an amazing piece of work to do that in partnership with Nikon and NASA. And that film actually plays in the Nikon Museum in Japan.
Oh wow!
As well as NASA using it. Every image that was ever taken on the International Space Station is available on SmugMug, and you can actually search your home location and see images taken from there. Eyes on the World, I think the site's called. There's lots of films. Go to smugmug.com/films and you'll be able to watch.
Because one of your ambassadors is Benjamin Von Wong, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and I saw on there. I don't think you were involved in this project, but he took a bunch of SmugMug employees up a skyscraper or something, and was dangling them off.
Did he shoot
edge.
as superheroes?
Terrifying.
Did he shoot as superheroes?
Yeah. Ben has done a few projects with us. We made a SmugMug film on Ben, but we've also made 2 films about him being an artist in residence at SmugMug, where we commission him to take some crazy pictures of them. 2 shoots he's done, neither of which I've been involved with. One was where he took...
Looks like he dodged a bullet to me. But I'll be...
It's me. One film he took just everyday members of staff at our offices and took them into the gymnasium and made them look like they were pumping iron, like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Didn't he take sort of their key interests? Like some of them are interested in cycling, some of them are interested in weights and gym, and then he photographed them in their own environments, kind of thing, wasn't it? Their own
incredible images.
Yeah, beautiful.
So they look incredible. But the one Jake was referring to is we do have this ongoing love of superheroes at SmugMug, and many of the team dressed up as superheroes, and Ben Von Wong took them to the top of a skyscraper and basically hung them off the edge of it.
Literally,
I was busy somewhere else that day.
Mate, gutted.
Busy sampling some beer, maybe. Huh?
Yeah.
I remember that phenomenal shoot, and we can.
After you picked out that Ivy costume as well, that would have been perfect.
Well, we can ask Ben about that because Ben's scheduled to come on a future episode, so we can ask him about that. He was meant to be in past episodes, but sadly, diary dates didn't line up.
He is a busy man.
He's a dear friend of me personally and of SmugMug, and we've worked very closely together for many years now. One of the most creative people I know in this industry, and
crazy.
Wonderful.
Definitely thinks outside of the box creatively, for sure. Yeah. on some of these pieces.
And the work he's doing now with highlighting, environmental impact of what we're doing, and
huge.
It deserves to be a story that deserves to be heard and told worldwide.
100%. Yeah. Well, obviously, we'll promote as much as we can when he comes on the show for sure.
Yeah, indeed.
So nice. So Alastair, I mean, it's getting close to time to the end of our session, and me and Jake are both really keen here to find out how we get our own SmugMug film session with you guys.
Well, I'm straight out. I'm not even I'm not even on the Smugmug website. So I think my chances are pretty much to have.
Oh, damn, Jake! There I am trying to share.
You shot yourself in the foot earlier on by saying he doesn't use our.
There I am trying to share the love, Jake. I guess it's just me then, Alastair.
I'll hold your light.
Go and hold my light again, Jake.
But to give Jake a little thread of hope, the
cameo.
SmugMug films don't have to feature customers, right? We really are highlighting, people that, photographers that are amazing and heroes within the industry. So that first and foremost, it's not a marketing piece. It really is, SmugMug Films is a passion project just about, motivating and inspiring and celebrating the industry that we're all involved with. So there's a thread to cling on to.
Jake. That's what he's saying.
Thank you. It's like, wow. I will hold you to that. Thank God I've got it recorded.
As soon as I see that line on the to-do list of we need a film of someone who uses coloured gels, you'll be the first person I ask if you know anybody that.
Did he just?
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Oh, I forgot to mention. We're not cheap or free, don't you? You know that, honestly. Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time with you, gentlemen. That's.
Okay, all right. We'll remove the word cheap. Oh, damn, that means we've got to remove the word free as well, Jake.
Brilliant.
Hey, I meant to mention one of the most favourite photographs I've had taken over the last few years of me personally is a photograph you took, Wayne. The one you took of us in Birmingham at the photography show when there was a crowd of us having some fun one evening.
It was, yeah.
I love that
shot on the trusty GFX 50S.
Wasn't there some
GFX handheld in horrible lighting conditions?
And Batman turned up in that pub.
And crazy. People think, you just take a shot of us. And I only had the GFX 50S. I mean, medium format, not the best camera for shooting ultimate low light. And I know for a fact with all those lantern bulbs that were on the wall that we used for the ambient light, ISO was at 10,000 to get that shot.
Yeah, it's a fun shot. And there's me, there's Jake, there's Rob Grimm,
Gary,
and Gary,
Batman.
and then a Batman. It's Sandy.
And sadly,
but that pub had closed, and I think just to give you a bit of background, I think Alastair walked in and was like, "Well, how about if I buy 20 pints now? Are you still closed?" And he had just like 20 pints of beer.
And then the bar was open for a few more rounds. Funny enough,
it's like weird.
But sadly,
I want to clarify: those weren't all for me. Those were for one each.
But I know you said you liked beer at the start.
But sadly, I mean, in a good point, you're not the first to say that's one of their most favourite photos recently they've had taken of themselves in that group. I mean, it's such a fun night. The sad thing about that is I wasn't in the damn photo. I was behind the camera.
Yeah. I forgot you were there, mate. So, I wasn't until Alastair reminded me.
I didn't even get to be part of that.
You took one for the team and
took one for the team.
Really
took one for the team.
As a true photographer should, Wayne.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, appreciate that.
So just lastly on that SmugMug film thing, where can people go and check those out?
Yeah, so, smugmug.com, you can find out all about our features and everything to do with the platform and the pricing and all that type of stuff. And then if you go to smugmug.com/films, you'll find the landing page for all the films. They're also on SmugMug YouTube channel.
Yeah, I didn't know they were on the actual SmugMug web. Yeah, I just kept going to the YouTube one.
Yeah, ultimately the landing page links out to the YouTube.
Gotcha.
Anyway, and then as I say, Bella Kotak's film will go. The trailer will go live today, and the film will be out on Monday, the 27th of January. It'll be.
I'll be scanning that frame by frame just to check.
Yeah, I'm sure AJ will love it, and we appreciate the work she did to She put up with a lot on that shoot.
Yes,
she was lying in a forest, in the dark, in the cold.
Just like, don't worry about that thing crawling over you. It's absolutely fine. Yeah.
Jake will be gone in a minute.
The final image is phenomenal.
Brilliant.
The drone was hovering like, I wasn't, anyway, story for another day.
That's all you need to know. And then, so smugmug.com or flickr.com, you'll find out all the information you need to know about the product.
Perfect. Now, closing question, because we didn't pre-prompt this before the show for an answer anyway. Mm-hmm. So do you have are there any special offers or discounts for our listeners? Is there any code that they can give for any, sign up to SmugMug website or Flickr or anything like that? Something we should have probably got from you before the show, really. But,
No, it's good. I can certainly get your listeners a discount code. It's something that you'll probably have to post in the show notes. But hopefully, if you have that technology, then we can post a little link there for people to get.
Check the show notes.
Check the show notes, folks. Yeah. You can click on that one to get some. Well, I wouldn't say freebies or free stuff.
Fair deals,
but some deals, man. Some deals. Perfect. Well, Alastair, before we go, there's one question we ask all our guests, and that is we ask you to personally recommend 2 artists from either the photographic or video world of any standard, any creative within those genres. They don't just have to be a photographer or videographer. I mean, they can be a sound guy or a colorist or a stylist or a 3D creator or whatever you want to come on Podlemania and do an episode with us. But we do ask you to get in touch with them and put them forward to us.
Sure. Oh my goodness, there's a long list. Obviously, working as ambassador relations at SmugMug.
We can take more than 2. We're just being kind.
I can do it. You want me to mention a few?
You don't have to do it, but if you have someone on the front of your mind, then that'd be cool, man. Let the audience hear what might come up.
Certainly. Ben Von Wong would have been high on that list, but you already have him scheduled. Someone again who's a great friend and ambassador of SmugMug is Pratik Naik, Bella's husband. I don't know if you have him lined up. I would obviously have to recommend Bella herself. Bella Kotak. We're just about to launch that film, and she's an amazing creative. There's a long list, but certainly Pratik and Bella are up there. The dynamic duo that they are.
I know. Yeah, I was tempted to. Because I was chatting to Wayne about this. I think it might be good to have them both on at the same time. But we'll see because they are. They do work well together.
But the thing is, you almost need them on at the same time, but then independently as well to get them individually in their own art forms, don't you? It's really bizarre. It'd be like a triple run.
Yeah, I mean, there's a long list of amazing creatives, and it's a wonderful industry to be part of.
For sure.
Brilliant. And before we sort of round off the episode, where can our listeners find you on the social platforms? That'll be your websites, the Instagrams, and everything else that comes. And that's for obviously SmugMug and Flickr.
Yeah. If on social platforms, you'll find me at Alastair Jolly and Alastair. Seeing there's many ways to spell Alastair. On Flickr, you'll find me as Alastair Jolly there. My SmugMug website is amg.smugmug.com.
Perfect. And then, as you mentioned earlier, you've got smugmug.com/films for the film side of it. And obviously you've got Flickr, which you can just go to, and SmugMug they can go to in general. And as Alastair mentioned, there will be a little bit of a discount code there, so you can check that out in the show notes. When that comes up, we'll put details of that with the show notes when the episode goes live anyway. Perfect. Anything else for you, Jake, before we close off?
No, I just look forward to seeing everybody's first ever Flickr shot they uploaded. Can't wait to see those. Have a collection of those bad boys.
I think it could be
that could be a massive thing on other social media platforms. If people pull up their first Flickr image online and then try and recreate it, there's a whole tidal wave of imagery to come out of that, isn't there? It could be a fun project.
I know. We keep saying we're finished. And one last thing, but. On that note, we were very blessed to work with Brooke Shea.
Oh, yeah.
An amazing creative on Flickr. And just as we acquired Flickr, she was celebrating her 10th anniversary on Flickr as a photographer. And we actually made a small film about her recreating
Sure.
the first image she had uploaded on Flickr.
I tell you, man, there's a whole creative,
fun.
project there for your 100 billion users.
And where is that film? Is it on SMUGMUG Films again or not?
Yeah.
Maybe there's one of your recommendations. It could be Brooke Shaden.
Brooke Shaden would be great to speak to. I think, because she's a very, very different mindset and the way that she goes about her work than most people. I think that'd be interesting to speak to her on that.
An amazing person that is so creative, an amazing creative photographer and artist, and just one of the best human beings that there is.
Well, we're going to task you with Brooke Shaden.
I can only imagine what he says about me behind my back.
Professional wasn't in the same sentence.
Your face,
That's it. You spend one rough night in a hotel room with Alastair Jolly and you just tainted. That's it.
Okay, folks. Well, if you want to help us to produce and record even more great interviews and content for your ears with some of the world's greatest creative talents, your support is very appreciated. And to stay up to date and be the first to know about new episodes on all creative things from the photography and video world, make sure you subscribe to the podcast at podlemania.com/subscribe. And if you like this episode, please don't forget to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean. And please give us a like and leave us a comment because that really helps with our rankings. And if you want to really help support us and make that a financial contribution, you can get us over on the Patreon page, which will be in the show notes. And we appreciate that too. That's a big breath there, mate.
That's a lot of places to have a podcast.
Yeah, I know, man. Tell me about it. Yeah. Tell me about that. I run it from this end. I know that.
It's just getting more and more.
But we just want to thank all our listeners again. Thanks for joining us. And, a big thank you to our guest, Alastair Jolly from Smugmug and Flickr. And
thanks, Alastair. Appreciate it, man.
We certainly look forward to catching up with you all in our next episode. So this is us saying goodbye, and we'll catch you in episode 22.